Bonjour, on est bien là? Comment ça va? Moi je vais bien. Welcome to my class. I hope you can hear me. I'm going to talk a bit loud because let's face it, everyone else in this park is talking loud. Anyway, the goal of today's video is for you to learn the difference between the two verbs savoir and connaître. So they both mean to know. Savoir, to know, and connaître, to know. So we're going to start by exploring some sentences that have the verb savoir in them. So, okay, start by saying it. Savoir, savoir, to know, right? Je sais parler français. I know how to speak French. Elle sait lire. She knows how to read. Ils savent nager. They know how to swim. So what you could also say, they can swim. As a translation, je sais parler français. That means I can speak French. I know how to speak French. Je sais conduire la voiture. I know how to drive a car. Tu sais nager? Can you swim? Do you know how to swim? So what we're doing is we're adding in English the word how. So savoir actually means to know how to do something, and we can also translate it using the word can. Okay, it's all those activities, those verbs which we had: lire, nager, parler, conduire. They're verbs, they're actions, they're all skills. They're things that you have to learn. An acquired skill. Okay, so let's now move on and explore the verb connaître. Connaître, say it with me, connaître. Do you know? Okay, let's say some sentences with connaître in the present tense. Je connais ton père. I know your father. Tu connais ma mère? Do you know my mother? Tu connais l'adresse de Max? Do you know Max's address? Tu connais le chiffre? Do you know the number? What else can we have? So basically, we're using connaître to say we know something, like a fact, a number, an address, or a person, right? So when we're translating it, do you know Joe? Tu connais Joe? We're not adding in English the word how. We're not translating it using the word can. We're not saying I can Joe. I know how to Joe. We're literally saying I know Joe. Je connais Joe. Okay, do you see the difference? And that's why it's really good to explore some examples, and I think that's going to be really clear for you now. Okay, let's do something wild and crazy. Let's conjugate the verb savoir in the present tense. Okay, so repeat it with me. Je sais, tu sais, il sait, elle sait, nous savons, vous savez, ils savent, elles savent. Okay, so what you can do now is you can Google that and write it out by hand to practice your spelling. And I want you to create some sentences with me. How would you say they know how to swim? Okay? Let's say it. Ils savent nager. Say it out loud. Ils savent nager. What else can we say? How do you say we know how to cook? We can cook. Nous savons cuisiner. Okay, let's do one more. You make one up. Make up a sentence. Je sais nager. Elle sait nager. Just make your own up, okay? So it's going to be savoir, Savoir-faire is this expression that's used in English, which I believe means to know how to do something, know how. And if you think of savoir-faire, it's going to remind you that savoir is followed by a verb. Savoir-faire. Je sais faire du karaté. Je sais jouer au tennis. Je sais chanter. Je sais danser. Because I can sing and I can dance. I really can. I know how to. There were skills that I learned and there are things that I can do. Okay, let's move on and do something wild and crazy with the verb connaître. Let's conjugate it in the present tense. I hope I remember this, by the way. Je connais, tu connais, il connaît, elle connaît. Nous connaissons, vous connaissez, ils connaissent, elles connaissent. Okay, so I want you to write out those two verbs together and just look at the verb endings. They are the same in both verbs. Look at the verb stem as well, because the verb stem changes. Okay, I want you to explore that on your own. This is the moment where you're going from beginner to advanced. If you can use savoir and connaître properly when you speak to French people, they're gonna know that you can speak French. Okay, so that you ain't no punk ass beginner, you know what I mean? You don't want to be a punk ass beginner, you want to move on to the next level. Okay, so let's make up a couple of sentences using the verb connaître. Ask someone, do you know my address? Tu connais mon adresse? Okay. Can you ask a group of people, do you know Joe? So it's using vous now. Vous connaissez Joe? Okay. And make up your own as well. You can write your own sentences in the comments. How about that? This is being creative learning, creating your own sentences. Something that you'll use in France. Okay. Je te connais, moi, I know you. Or tu me connais? Do you know me? Or vas-y, casse-toi, je te connais pas, moi. You want to get rid of someone. That's a handy one. Je te connais pas. Je te connais pas. I don't know you. Okay, so, right. I love how the French are a little bit more rude than the English. But anyway. Alors, okay, so what are we going to do now? Oh yeah, this is my recommended. I know that you understand because we've explored this and we've also done some examples. The next step for you is definitely do some writing, write some sentences, conjugate the verb, write them down or type. Make sure you put in the accents, if there are any. They're really important in your written French. And I want you to know that in order to understand something, the best thing you can do is know that you can explain it to someone else, that you could teach someone else. So you could do something like create a little infographic that you could show people on the internet to explain savoir and connaître, what's the difference. Or you could literally find a friend who's also learning French and explain it to them in a way that they're going to understand it, and that way you're going to retain it really well and you're going to remember it. Okay, so thank you so much. Please share your little sentences that you've created in the comments. I would love it if you could like the video and subscribe, because I'm your teacher and I got you, okay? Je suis ta prof de français maintenant. I am your French teacher, okay? You do not need anyone else. Okay, merci mes étudiantes. Au revoir. Passez bonne journée. Merci. Ciao. Bye everybody. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking my video and leaving the comment. Au revoir.